Good morning, kindergartners. Happy Thursday and happy Ramadan to our families who are celebrating. Mrs. Habenrich included kind of a sweet Ramadan story. I included it in our newsletter. And Mrs. Nordstrom also has a song that she's done, so that's in our newsletter as well. Finley is still our special person this week. She's got 2 more days. If you didn't get a chance to see Finley's fun favorite story yesterday, I kept that in our newsletter today. If you want to take a peek at it today, or maybe even watch it again today if you saw it yesterday. I had so much fun yesterday at our Zoom art session, our Earth Day art session, and I have to apologize because I realized that I linked the wrong link in our email. The link was correct in our newsletter, but not in our email. So kiddos, if you were being rough on mom and dad because they couldn't get in, it was Mrs. Heichel's fault. So I'm so sorry about that. I did include the video in our newsletter today, so you can watch the video and do it today if you'd like. I am gonna do another one next week. So if you weren't able to make it yesterday, I'll get another one scheduled for next week. I found kind of a fun ladybug art project that we can do just using paper and markers. So those are things that we should all have at home. I have a couple show and tell art sessions. Or show and tell Zoom sessions. I'm excited to see some of you today. I am also going to set up one-on-one sessions with Mrs. Heichel next week. So if you just want a little chance to chat with Mrs. Heichel one-on-one, we'll get a schedule up and going on our Google Docs so that you can do that. I know I love talking with you and seeing how things are going. Today is another busy day. For reading today, you are going to be doing something a little bit different. You're going to be setting a goal as a reader, and you're really going to be thinking about and noticing superpowers that you've mastered, that you're so good at, that you use all the time. And you're going to think about some of the superpowers that maybe you don't use a lot. And today would be a really good time to practice those and get even better at those superpowers, because you can master those too. So I'm going to kind of show you what you're going to do. Unfortunately, I don't have a paper copy of our reading superpowers, but I do have a copy of it that I can show you on my iPad. So this is included in our packet this week. You probably have seen it or remember it from your reading baggie or from your reading bin. But you want to go through and you just want to kind of give a thumbs up to the superpowers that you're good at or that you use a lot, and then a thumbs down to those that you don't use that often. So when I look at this, I'm starting here, snap word power. That's one I've been pretty good at. We've been practicing that a lot while we've been at home with our virtual learning. Pointer power I've been really good at. Some of you are maybe even beyond pointer power. Sound power. When I get stuck on a word, I'm pretty good at looking at the first letter and sounding it out. Reread power. I don't do that a lot. When I get stuck on a word, I don't go back and reread. So that's something that I'm going to work on today. Persistence power. That's that fancy word that we talked a lot about at school. That means you're not giving up and you're trying as many superpowers. You're being so brave and trying as many superpowers as you can to figure out that word. I need to try that a little bit more. I actually have not been very good at that at home. I get a little frustrated at home, so I got to work on my persistence power. Partner power is a little tricky to do at home because your partner would be mom or dad or maybe a sibling. So we'll kind of let that one go. If you're stuck on a word, you certainly can ask mom or dad or a sibling for help or for some clues to help you with the word. Book talk power. I have not been talking a lot about my books before I read them or during it. So I'm going to put my thumbs down for that. Picture power, so good at that. I use the picture a lot to help me with clues. Pattern power, I've been noticing the patterns a lot in books, so that's one that I'm pretty good at. So I really want to today be thinking about working on reread power, and yours might be a little different, that's okay. Reread power, persistence power, and book talk power. So those that I'm going to kind of those are the ones that I'm going to kind of work on. So when you're working on these during reading today, it's really best that you're working on it at a Just Right book as opposed to like taking a storybook and doing it, because these are really tricky for us to read. And since I don't have any Just Right books with me at home, I'm going to use them when I do Raz Kids. So I'm going to pull up a book in my Level Up in my Raz Kids account. Let's see, what book should I do? Ooh, Wash Your Hands. That might be a good one for me to try today. So when I read this book, now I want to make sure I'm reading it. When I look at the book, I want to think about using some of those reading strategies. One of my strategies that I wanted to work on was book talk power. And book talk power is one that you can use even before you start reading. So I want to think a little bit about washing your hands and what I know about washing hands. Well, I know I need to rub my hands together. I know I need soap. I know I need water. I know I need to be kind of careful and like go in between my fingers and get the front of my hands and the back of my hands. And I know I need to do it for a long enough time that the germs are going to come off. One of the tricks that we've talked about was doing like singing your ABCs or happy birthday. I wonder if any of those words are going to be in here. And now that I've kind of thought about that and said that, I might be even more ready to read this book. Wash your hands. So here are some words that come up. You can certainly go through and read some of those if you know them. Oh, I know this word, it was in the title. Wash your hands. Don't know this word. So I want to try using one of those powers, like persistence power or reread power, to see if it'll help me. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of the sentence. I'm going to reread and see if that can give my brain like a little running start. I'm also going to kind of like, while I'm doing this, take a look at the picture. Think about what she's doing. She's eating. She looks like she's eating at school. What do we eat at school? What meal do we eat at school? Wash your hands. I'm actually going to skip this word. I reread it. I'm going to skip this word. I'm going to finish the sentence. You eat. She's eating. When do I wash my hands? Wash your hands. Ooh, I see a baby word. Before you eat. Okay. So I know it's not always that easy at home, but you want to try to use some of the superpowers that you haven't been using as much. So see how that goes, and hopefully you'll get a little bit better at some of those superpowers that you haven't been using. For phonics today, you're going to kind of stick with that AY ending, and you have a poem that you're going to be looking at today, and the poem is Rain, Rain, Go Away, and unfortunately that might be the perfect poem for today. We might have a little rain today. So you're going to go ahead, you're going to look at this poem, it should be in your packet, and you are going to underline or circle words that end in AY. If you want at the end, you don't have to do this, but another thing that you could do is you could make a list then. You've been working on AY words all week. You're getting so good at them. You could make a list of AY words on a piece of paper. You could check out this magnetic letter app that I showed you how to use yesterday. If you didn't see the video yesterday, there are instructions in our newsletter today if you want to try out this free app to kind of build words. Ooh, one of the words that you're going to see a lot in Rain, Rain, Go Away is the word Way, it has a baby word in it, way. See how many words you can make that have that AY ending in it. Last thing for today is for Writer's Workshop. You're going to keep working on your bird book today. And I bet you've noticed that this book is a little bit different than the polar bear book that we did last week, that it doesn't have any sentence starters for you. There aren't any words on the pages to get you going. This one's a little bit more tricky than the one that we did last week. So on these blank pages, you want to be writing any facts that you learned about birds. So when you do this writing, you're going to have to be really brave, kind of like you're going to have to be with your reading today. And we haven't looked at this Brave Spellers anchor chart, but I included it in our newsletter. I think it might be helpful for you when you're doing your writing to maybe have it out or to take a peek at it. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through this really quickly just to refresh your memory because we haven't seen this one in a while. So when you're a brave speller and you're spelling a word that you don't know how to write, one of the first things that you want to do is you want to stretch that word out. You want to say it so slowly and see how she's kind of moving her hands apart to see if it's a long word or a short word. You want to say that word slow and listen to all the sounds you hear. Then you want to carefully write down on your paper all the sounds you hear in that word. This one is reminding us that you have a lot of tools that you can use to help you write words. We had our name charts at school and our star name wall at school. You don't have that at home, but you certainly have books at home that you can use to help you spell words. You probably have words around your house, just like we had words around our classroom that you could maybe use to help you spell words. You have an ABC chart at home, and I still have one in our newsletter if you need to take a peek at one. And you have your snap words at home that you can use to help you. The last thing, and this is one of my favorites that so many of you were doing when we were at school, was making me so proud, is you're writing lots of words and you're including a lot of words in your picture or even labeling your picture. That gives your reader so many clues about what your writing is about. So think about including that. You guys have kind of a busy day today. I hope you have so much fun with it. I'm excited to talk with some of you this afternoon in some of your show and tell sessions, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.